What's going on, guys? This is Jensen, and the line on my reel has gotten old and I want to change it out to some braided line. So let's talk about how to do that. One of the things you need to do first is prep your spool to hold braided line. If you don't do this, then what will happen is your line will start slipping on your spool and you won't be able to set the hook on a fish. So what I do is I've got some white electrical tape, but any electrical tape or medical tape works pretty good. I'm going to cut about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches off of that. So I just got a little piece of electrical tape. Spin it around the spool. It doesn't have to be tight. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that. You just want it on that spool so it'll hold that line. Okay, and let's get the line ready to go. What I'm putting on here is I'm putting 50-pound Tactics braid from Seaguar. And I like 50 or 60 on bait casters. And the reason is I cast it a whole lot better. One of the things I do is I'll pull the line off the spool a little bit, drop it back in the box, and then you see that little hole on the side? Run your line through that hole. And I'm gonna make it look harder than it really is. And then close that box back up. And then what I do is I make sure that the line, and this isn't a big deal, but make sure the line is coming off the top of the spool. Run it through that first guide, and then the fun part, trying to get it around the reel. I run it through, put a little bit of a bend in that line, drop it down, and a lot of times it'll come out the bottom of the spool, which is normal. All right, so I've got it wrapped around the spool just like this. Okay, so I leave it like that. The first thing I do is we're gonna tie what's called an arbor knot around this. And the first part of an arbor knot is you tie a knot in the end of your line and cut the tag end real close to that knot. Then you take the rest of it and I'm gonna tie 2 overhand knots. One, and I'm tying it around the main line. 2, and it creates a slip knot. Pull that knot tight, and then I pull it down to the reel, and you rock it back and forth until that knot at the end of the line gets down to your slip knot. All right, so then we start putting it on the reel. Now your box is gonna go up on its end like that. Spool's gonna spin real nice in that box. And a lot of times you'll cut a groove in your cardboard, which is no big deal. Now look up in front of the reel right here. I'm holding tension on the line because I want it to go on pretty tight, but I'm not gonna go so fast that I burn my fingers. And a lot of times you'll see it loading too far on one side or the other, and I just rock my finger back and forth. Make sure it loads nice and even all the way across the spool. All right, so this is about as much line as I want to leave on here, about 1/8 of an inch. It just reduces a whole lot of issues you have with casting and stuff like that. Cut your line off, run it through your guides, tie on your favorite fluorocarbon leader, or just fish it main braid, no big deal. That's how you put a line on a bait caster. Get out on the water, go out and have some fun, and have a great day.